Hello everyone, it's Sasha with the Revelstoke Library, and today we're going to read a story called Muncha, 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 and we're going to have Vanessa help to read this story. So it goes like this.
Hi everybody, I'm going to be reading, this is one of my favorite stories that I'm going to be reading, and what I'd like is for you to say along with me, whenever we say Muncha, 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 say it with us in your loudest possible voice, okay? Here we go. For years, Mr. McGreely, here he is, he's in the upstairs window, he dreamed of planting a garden. He dreamed of getting his hands dirty, of growing yummy vegetables, and of gobbling them all up. This spring, said Mr. McGreely, this spring, by golly, I'm going to plant a garden. So he hoed, and he sowed, and he watched his garden grow. But look, everybody, who else is watching?
Oh, we got some bunnies.
Little bunnies. Lettuce, carrots, peas, and tomatoes. Yummy, 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 said Mr. McGreely. I'll soon fill my tummy with crisp, fresh veggies.
Oh, I'm feeling hungry.
But one night, when the sun went down and the moon came up, 3 hungry bunnies appeared. Tippy, 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 pat. Ready for it? Muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his gnawed sprouts, he was angry. So he built a small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. There, he declared, no bunny, get it, Sasha? No bunny?
Oh, no bunny.
No bunny. No bunny can get into my garden now. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat, spring, hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his nibbled leaves and gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. So he built a tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. Huh, he huffed. Those floppies will never get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now. Look at that wall. Yikes. And the sun went down and the moon came up. And, look, they dug a hole. Oh my gosh, that's how they got around.
Smart bunnies.
Tippy, 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 pat. Dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, scratch. Spring, hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. So he made a deep, wet trench outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetable garden. Look at this, it's a moat. Good grief. Ha, he snorted. Those pufftails can't get under it. They can't get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat, dive, paddle, splash, 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 dig, scrabble, scratch, 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 spring, hurdle, dash, 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 muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. Greeley saw his chomped blossoms, his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was furious. So he hammered and sawed and blocked, sawed and stalked, drilled and filled and trapped and locked, and he built a huge, enormous thing before the deep, wet trench, outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetable garden. I've outsmarted those twitch whiskers for sure, he exclaimed. They can't get through it, they can't get under it, and they can't get over it. No bunny, no way, no how can get into my vegetable garden now. Look at that thing.
That is absolutely enormous.
It's a fortress.
The energy it takes.
and the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 stop. The 3 hungry bunnies looked and smelled and touched the huge, enormous thing before them. And tippy, 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 pat, the bunnies hopped away. So the next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his untouched vegetables, he was happy. Yay! I beat the bunnies, he whooped, and he did a jiggly, wiggly victory dance. And then he climbed over, jumped across, squeezed between, and crawled under until he reached his vegetable garden. But Sasha, look who's sneaking in. 1, 2, 3. He doesn't see them at all. Ah, sighed Mr. McGreely. At last! And he picked some vegetables and reached into his basket and... Muncha, muncha, muncha! Oh, they're all sharing carrots. Oh, what a great story.
Such a good story. Thanks for reading that, Vanessa.
Thanks for holding the book, Sasha.
No problem.
See you later.
See you next time.